You know that feeling like you're carrying the weight of things that aren't even your own experiences? Well, it turns out that might be more than just a metaphor. Today, we're going to dive into the absolutely fascinating science of epigenetics and see how life experiences, yeah, even your parents, can leave a very real mark on your biology. So let's just get right to the heart of it with this one big question. Can the stress your parents went through literally affect you right here, right now? Well, as we're about to find out, the answer is a pretty surprising yes, and honestly, it might just change the way you see yourself. Okay, so to get our heads around how this is even possible, we've got to start with the basics. We need to talk about your body's personal instruction book, your DNA, and this incredible field called epigenetics.
So, think of your DNA as this enormous instruction book. It's got all the fundamental info for how to grow, how to react, how to just stay alive. But here's the key part. The words written in that book, your actual genetic code, they're incredibly stable. They pretty much stay the same your whole life.
Right, so if the book itself doesn't change, what does? This is where epigenetics comes in, and it's so cool. Imagine someone going through your instruction book and just slapping sticky notes on certain pages. These notes, they don't rewrite the words, but they totally change how the book is read. They might say, hey, read this page a lot, or you know what, just skip this chapter. These are epigenetic marks, and they get put there by your life experiences. So it really breaks down into a simple three-step thing. First, you've got the book, your DNA, with all the instructions. Second, life happens, and it adds these chemical tags, our sticky notes. And third, these notes completely change how the book gets read, telling your genes to turn on or off. This changes how your body works without ever touching the original DNA code itself. Wild, right? So let's see how this actually works, because one of the most powerful things that writes these sticky notes is stress. But, as we're about to see, not all stress is created equal. Okay, check out this comparison. On one hand, you've got helpful short-term stress. You know, a tiger's chasing you, your body pumps out cortisol, you run like you've never run before, and you survive. That system works. But then there's chronic stress. Constant worry, feeling unsafe. The body's response is the same, but it just never ever turns off. And that's where the trouble really starts. When that stress is long-term, your body is just stuck on high alert. Your muscles are always tight. Your brain is constantly scanning for the next bad thing. And your nervous system, it never gets a break. It never resets. And over time, your body starts to learn from this constant state of emergency. It takes away one single, really powerful lesson. And this is the lesson. The world is not safe. Stay ready. Epigenetically, your body starts to operate on this principle. That belief gets written onto your DNA with those chemical sticky notes, changing how the genes that deal with stress and fear actually behave. All right, so stress can change the notes in our own book. We get that. But here is where the story takes a truly mind-bending turn. What if that story, the one written by stress, could actually be passed down? I mean, this is the question that has totally fascinated scientists. Could those epigenetic marks, those sticky notes yelling, "Stay ready," actually be inherited by your kids? Can a parent's life experiences prepare their child's body for a world they haven't even been born into yet? Well, the evidence for this comes from some of the most difficult moments in human history. Scientists looked at the children and even grandchildren of people who survived immense trauma, things like war, famine, and profound loss. And they started to notice some really remarkable patterns in their biology. And what they found is just incredible. This isn't about passing down a memory. The child doesn't know what happened to their parents or grandparents. Instead, it's like their body shows up on day one, already prepared. Those sticky notes have been passed down, and their biological instruction book is already highlighted with warnings about danger. So what does that actually look like? Well, these children might have a faster stress response, maybe a higher sensitivity to fear, a nervous system that just reacts in a split second. Now, this is the most crucial part. This does not mean they are weak or broken. Not at all. It means their biology is adapted for survival in a world it expects to be harsh. It's a biological head start meant to protect them. Now, all of this might sound a bit bleak, right? Like our biology is just written for us before we even get a say. But the most hopeful, most empowering part of this entire science is that the story is not finished. You get to be the editor. And please, if you take away one thing, let it be this. Epigenetics is not destiny.
Those sticky notes are not written in permanent ink. They can be changed, they can be moved, they can even be removed entirely. Your biology is not set in stone. So, how do you edit the book? Well, it all comes down to our actions and our environment. By creating safety and calm, by finding support through things like therapy and healthy habits, we send new signals to our body. These positive experiences tell it, hey, the world is safe now. And your body listens, and slowly, it starts to change how those genes are expressed. So let's wrap this all up by looking at the big picture. Because understanding epigenetics isn't just a cool science lesson. It actually gives us a fundamentally new and way more compassionate way to think about ourselves and each other. It lets us completely shift the question we ask. Instead of that voice of self-blame, why am I so anxious? What is wrong with me? We can ask a question that comes from a place of curiosity. What did my body learn in order to survive? That one little shift reframes everything. And this new perspective is so powerful. It helps us find self-compassion, to realize that some of our reactions might just be adaptations from a past we didn't even live through. It can lead to way better, more informed mental health care, and maybe most importantly, it replaces blame with understanding and a real sense of hope. So the ultimate takeaway here is this. Your history, both the one you've lived and the one you've inherited, it leaves an imprint. The past absolutely influences you, but it does not have to control you. You are the current editor of your instruction book, and you hold the pen to write the next chapter.